Bad Romance on BBC Radio London. Great to be with you this afternoon. It's Shay here until 6 p.m. It's that time of the show every once a month on a Wednesday. We are joined with our resident tech expert for Ready Tech Go, and we delve into some of the important tech news. I'm joined live in the studio with James Erskine, who is also the founder of Rocket as well. You can get more details for James on social media. Go to X, formerly known as Twitter. Just type in his name, James Erskine. James, it's great to have you back.
It's really nice to be back. Thanks so much for having me.
We had like the most condensed mini catch-up off air. How was half term? How was your holiday? What are you up to now? But you have got a glorious tan, I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah,
yes.
It comes from a week away during May half term with my family. So
lovely.
Yeah, it was good.
Very jealous, but very nice still, nonetheless. Now, there's so many stories that you wanted to put onto the agenda. When we first started this, I was thinking, I don't know how much, we'll be able to talk, what there's there to talk about. But it clearly, tech news, it's at the forefront really of what we're dealing with in life. I know a little bit later on we're talking about general elections, but it does seem to be affecting us in many different ways.
Everything's a tech and a social media story, Shay. Everything, because
yes.
everything can be viewed through the prism of social media.
Yes.
And every new technology advance can be used for good. And sometimes I bring you stories of positivity.
You do.
I think last month I came along talking about how TikTok was helping people in their career and in finance.
Yeah.
And this time we've got some stories that are looking for the good and some stories that are looking for the less good.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's an interesting mix.
It is. I think the one that all of us in the last 12 months as a society are really grappling with is artificial intelligence.
Yes.
The benefits, some people still can't quite see it, others do, but then there have been various cons and various negatives, and so let's delve into it. I'm really when you sent these stories across, I read the full article of this one, so let's talk more about when technology journalist Becca Caddy, she received an email containing AI-generated naked photos of herself. It's all around deepfakes, isn't it? Tell me more about this.
That's exactly right. So this is my wife's subscription to Stylist magazine, which I happen to pick up. It's online only. And Becca Caddy actually is a tech journalist and an author that I followed in other realms because she's an amazing author. And she woke up one morning to receive an email. And the email said, Becca Caddy photo shoot. And she didn't think anything was strange.
Okay.
But she looked at the pictures. And one was a picture of her drinking a cup of coffee that she recognised that her mum had taken. But as she scrolled down, it was her head on an obviously artificially created naked body.
Goodness.
And there was another photo of her as well, which was out in the public arena because she's a published author.
Yeah.
And it was her headshot put on a naked body. And the accompanying email said that they were going to share these naked images with all of her social media contacts, with all of her friends. And quite rightly, she felt violated. She felt shaken up. And it's a fascinating... People are familiar, and Becca explores this in the article she wrote. People are familiar with the turn of phrase revenge porn.
Yes.
And this is something slightly different because these are images which didn't really exist in the first place.
They've been created.
And it's a whole new potential bad use of technology to create these sort of images. And it's becoming more and more common. It's becoming something that can happen now. Celebrities are aware that sometimes their faces can be put into videos that they had nothing to do with. So the technology is out there and it's being used for ill means. What's also interesting is the law, as ever with technology, isn't quite keeping up with it. So we've only just got a revenge porn law that was introduced during the last parliament. There actually isn't any specific law to cope with this deep fake pornographic images that was the experience that Becca Caddy went through.
That's so interesting, isn't it? Because we know things like Snapchat, especially are ways in which in social media where people will share images, sometimes without a person's knowledge or consent.
Yeah.
But this is going a step further, isn't it? Because as you say, these images, which Becca Caddy herself then decided to share on her social media. And she said, look, these are AI generated images from photos that, I've shared online. And she wanted to normalize it if anyone else has experienced the same because of what's happened to her.
Yes.
But the fact that for some people, they would think, well, it's okay, I can just go to the police and report this. But there's not a specific... Do we really require specific laws then, as you say, for example, something like this with deep fake?
Well, the trouble is we're all used to getting scam emails from saying that I'm a rich royal from a different country that wants to send you a lot of money. That's kind of a hackneyed example of a scam email. And we've lots of... And it's still tough to know who is sending those emails, and it's still tough to find the perpetrator. There are some routes out. There's the cyber helpline, there is the revenge porn helpline, and there's an organisation called the IWL who can help identify and remove global online sexual images, but it's still tough to control the entire internet. And obviously any police force only copes within the borders that it is looking after. So if this is being done in a foreign land, if this is done outside the UK, then it's tough to control and tough to litigate and tough to criminalise this particular thing. But I suppose the reason I wanted to bring it to people's attention is this is a really good example of technology and how we need to be careful, and also things to look out for. And if anybody, God forbid, find themselves in this situation, just to let them know that they're not alone and that this is happening, because I imagine it would be the most traumatic thing. It's quite,
I think that's partly why she shared it, is otherwise people do feel very isolated. They do feel really alone in these type of situations. You can get more details on this story, as James was mentioning, online. And if you'd like to share your thoughts, pick up the phone.
All I can ever be to you.